Federal government states Nigeria is safe to host global tourism conference. All Progressive Congress National Chairman declares no decision on the zone of presidential ticket. Court grants suspended Kano anti-corruption boss Muhi Magaji bail. And on the foreign scene, at least 10 killed in explosion Kabul mosque in Afghanistan. Good evening, you're listening to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. I am Zahra Zannah. Today is the 28th of April, 2022. And now the news in full. The federal government says that the country is safe to host the first global conference on cultural tourism and creative industry, scheduled for November 14th to November 17th in Lagos. The Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Mohammed, said this when he featured on a phone-in program of the Radio Nigeria. Nigeria was given the hosting right for the maiden global event by the United Nations World Tourism Organization at a meeting held at the organization's headquarters in Spain on April 19th, 2022. Mohammed said the insinuation in certain quarters that participants and tourists will not attend the conference because of stories of killings and kidnappings in the country are erroneous. The minister said that insecurity is a global challenge and countries with worse situations than Nigeria were developing their tourism potential. Mohammed reiterated the readiness of Nigeria to host the event come November at the National Theatre in Lagos, currently being renovated at a cost of $100 million, made available by the Bankers Committee and Central Bank of Nigeria. The national chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, has said the party has not taken any decision on the zoning of its presidential ticket ahead of the 2023 general elections. He spoke on the matter today while responding to questions from State House reporters after presenting the Ekiti APC governorship candidate, Abiodun Oyebanji, to President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa in Abuja. Adamu said the decision on which part of the country should produce the ruling party candidate was beyond him, while reacting to a question that sought a categorical statement on the zone to produce the presidential candidate. Adamu said that he is privileged to be the chairman of the party and that the party has not made a decision and he cannot preempt what the party decision would be. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, today began the screening of its 17 aspirants for the 2023 presidential election. The screening under the chairmanship of former President of the Senate, David Mark, is being held at the Legacy House PDP Presidential Campaign Office, Abuja. The 17 aspirants include former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and former Speaker, House of Representatives and Chairman of PDP Governors Forum, Governor Aminu Tambuwal of Sokoto State. Former President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, and Governors of Bauchi, Bala Muhammad, Rivers, Nyesom Wike are also in the pack. As Ramadan draws to an end, the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, NSCIA, under the leadership of Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III, has urged Muslims across the country to look for the new moon of Shawwal on Saturday. The Director of Administration of the NSCIA, Zubairu Haruna Usman Ugu, said this in a statement issued on behalf of the Sultan today. He said, consequent upon the advice of the National Moon Sighting Committee, the Sultan enjoined the Nigerian Muslim Ummah to search for the crescent of Shawwal 1443 after Hijri immediately after sunset on Saturday, April 13, 2022, which is equivalent to 29th of Ramadan, 1443 after Hijri. Usman Ugu also added that if the crescent is sighted by Muslims of impeccable character, then the Sultan would declare Sunday, May 1st, 2022 as the first of Shawwal and the day of Eid al-Fitr. However, if the crescent is not sighted that day, then Monday, May 2nd, 2022 automatically becomes the day of Eid al-Fitr. And in business, Anas Muhammad Monday has updates.
The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timi Perez Silva, has said Nigeria is among 10 top global gas producers and the most extensive in Africa. Silva stated this at the 2022 annual public lecture of the Nigerian Society of Engineers held yesterday in Abuja. He said at present, only gas can meet the three priorities of Nigeria, which are security of supply, economic competitiveness, and a reduction of greenhouse gas emissions as the world intensifies energy transition. Meanwhile, the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICRC, has issued two full business case certificates of compliance for new infrastructure projects. The certificates, which were presented to the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, were for the concession of the Badagry Deep Sea Port and the floating dry dock for Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. The Acting Director General of ICRC, Mr. Michael Oheani, while presenting the certificates, informed the Minister that both projects will generate over $2 billion for the federal government and create over 5,800 jobs. He noted that the total revenue amount up to NIMASA for the 15 years concession period is put at 27.22 billion naira. Anas Mohammed and the Freedom Radio.
The Global News is coming to you from Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, and watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria on Facebook.com. You can get the link to the page on our website, freedomradionig.com.
Asha, to ba ka ji ba? Irin kalubalen da zaka fuskanta kenan. Matukar ka kauracewa amfani da ingantaccen bakin man juye. Muna gabatar muku da ingantaccen bakin mai wato Hyundai lubricant wanda ya zama kadangaren bakin tulu wajen karko da kuma nagarta da kuma inganci. Kazalika bakin man mu baya lalacewa da wuri. Bakin man juye na Hyundai lubricant za ku iya amfani da shi a abubuwan hawan ku domin samun zaman lafiyar injin. Man juye na Hyundai lubricant yana cikin kyawawan mazubai masu inganci. Za ku iya samun man juye na Hyundai lubricant a duk inda kuke a faɗin ƙasar nan. Bakin man juye na Hyundai lubricant yana da nagarta karko da kuma inganci. Domin samun naku ku tuntuɓi dilolinmu Hamisu Dantin Motors Nigeria Limited sai kuma unguwar Na'ibawa da kuma kasuwar Kofar Ruwa, kasuwar 'Yan Kaba, unguwar Kabuga duka a nan birnin Kano.
Welcome back. You're still listening to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. A Kano Chief Magistrate Court has granted suspended chairman of the State Anti-Corruption Agency, Muhi Magaji Rimin Gado, bail. He was arraigned before the court today for giving false information by the police. The Chief Magistrate, Aminu Gabari, granted the defendant a 500,000 naira bail with two surety that should include maternal or paternal relations of the defendant and the chief imam of Sharata Oja in Jumat Mosque. He also directed the defendant to submit his travel documents with the court. The embattled anti-corruption boss was arrested in Abuja on Thursday, shortly after undergoing screening as a governorship aspirant under the People's Democratic Party for Kano gubernatorial race. The Kano state government has launched a drainage campaign as part of its efforts to curtail the flood incidents in the state. Launching the campaign, Kano State Commissioner of Environment, Dr. Kabiru Ibrahim Getsu, called on the people of the state to work together for its success.
This is a day that we are commencing the year 2022 annual drainage clearance exercise. This is a traditional program that is being executed by Kano State Government. It is coinciding with another important exercise, that is Keep Kano Clean Exercise 2022. You may recall that 14 days ago, precisely, we started the Keep Kano Clean exercise.
He added that the campaign was held every year to reduce the incidence of floods.
Before commencement of rains, we evacuate, we desilt major drainages and even minor ones that are problematic in the state, so that we don't have flooding in the state. so that we don't have a situation whereby flooding will occur and destroy public properties and even lives of people. So that is why we are doing this exercise.
Badashiro Hausawa reports that the campaign was launched at the main gutter of Jakara and Babangwari Road. Up next, Ramadan commentary by Kabiru Abdullahi Umar on the benefits of the last 10 days of Ramadan.
One of the benefits of last 10 days of Ramadan is found in a prophetic saying as, whenever the last 10 days arrive, the Prophet, peace be upon him, redouble his efforts with his family in Allah's worship. The Prophet, peace be upon him, used to relocate to his mosque in these 10 days till his return to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His wives too followed in his footsteps. The Prophet used to distance himself from his wives, be more devoted in his worship of Almighty Allah, recite the Holy Quran as much as possible, and pray the name of Allah several times. If the best of mankind, who is forgiven of his sins, present or past, wake up to observe the night prayers of these 10 days, what about us the sinners? So, this is a golden opportunity for a person who has not done anything worthwhile to work hard in these last 10 days to be forgiven of his sins entirely. Kabir Abdullahi Umar, Freedom Radio.
And on sports, the Confederation of African Football CAF President Patrice Motsepe has launched the CAF African Schools Football Program situated in Maputo, Mozambique. The commencement of the school program is part of the goals Patrice Motsepe elaborated during a visit to Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire in April 2021, where he focused on youth football development in Africa. Earlier, the CAF president paid a courtesy visit to the Mozambique president, Felipe Nyusi, who is also a fan and preacher of football development in the country. Motsepe, who led top dignitaries in the football class, both within the country and beyond, witnessed the CAF African Schools Football Championship kickoff event at the Costa do Sol Stadium. Similarly, the Confederation of African Football CAF has postponed the draw ceremony for the 2023 African Nations Championship. The qualification draw was initially scheduled to be conducted on Friday, April 29. However, CAF has now postponed it indefinitely with a new date to be confirmed later. Nigeria failed to qualify for the last edition in Cameroon, while Morocco has won the last two tournaments. Meanwhile, former Nigerian internationals in the diaspora under the aegis of the Nigerian Ex-International Footballers Association have lamented the dwindling fortunes of football under the Amaju Melvick Pinnick-led Nigerian Football Federation. A statement signed by its president and secretary Charles Okoye and Francis Monidafe described the state of football as disheartening, especially the neglect of the grassroots and local leagues. The group berated the NFF for its nonchalant attitude towards the overall development of football across the country. In another update, Manchester United interim manager Ralf Rangnick has been named Austria's head coach. And on tennis, former world #1 Victoria Azarenka wants to see action taken against Wimbledon and the LTA after their ban on Russia and Belarusian players. And on the foreign scene, a powerful blast has hit a mosque in western Kabul during prayers, killing at least 10 and wounding 20. Officials said amid a spate of attacks on Afghan places of worship and civilian targets during the holy month of Ramadan. We've come to the end of today's Global News. On behalf of the entire production team and I, Zahra Zannah, have a blissful iftar. But